Sup, Nerdmigos? Welcome to Pint Night, the once weekly look into whatever the heck I want to talk about in the time that it takes me to drink a pint. So, grab your favorite beverage and let's get started. Tonight, I am drinking Illa Vanilla by Full Circle Brewing Company. It is a milkshake IPA, arguably my least favorite style of IPA. So this is going to be an adventure, but Julie really liked them. It's a 6.5% ABV. It's, let's give this a shot, shall we? That is very vanilla. That is far sweeter and maltier than I want an IPA to be. Even though we have, according to their chart, 2 of 5 skulls in color, 2 of 5 skulls in malt, and 4 of 5 skulls in hoppiness. So, yeah, I don't know what that means, but I guess we got like 8 skulls worth of beer here. All right, well, let's get into the story. So, first, to cover some news stuff. All right, so I read this article. I found this article randomly, and I was like, I have to talk about this during Pint Night. Also, I know today is Wednesday, but I was super busy on Sunday and Saturday, so I was like, you know what? Instead of us recording one of the 5 million reviews we still have to record, I'm gonna do Pint Night on Wednesday. It's less committal, maybe? I don't know. Whatever. Anywho, so I found this article, and I'll have it linked below in the dibbly-doo, so if you want to check this out, and I highly recommend you do. I am going to briefly cover this. Go check it out. This article was amazing. I legitimately read it twice because I was like, nah, I'm clearly missing some stuff. So I found this a week ago. Forgive any mistakes that I made. So these Australian scientists were trying to do some research on magpies. A group of magpies is called a Mischief of Magpies, which is adorable and I love. So, this group of Australian scientists were trying to do research on a Mischief of Magpies by indicating how they move and what their social cooperative hierarchy is and all this kind of stuff. So they invented this great new system where we put these tiny sensor backpacks on the magpies, and this sensor backpacks, there's a feeding station they set up, and there's a copper coil underneath the feeding station, so that way the magpies can charge the batteries and download the data while they're eating. So no big deal, right? Well, within about 10 minutes, they saw of getting the last magpie backpacked up. They noticed that one of the magpies no longer had its backpack on, which that's not possible. This was engineered not to fall off a magpie. So they're like, okay, what's going on with these magpies? So they start observing these magpies. And it took about 3 days. But within those 3 days, all of the magpies had their backpacks removed. And what they noticed specifically is that the magpies were cooperatively working together to remove each other's backpacks. Which means that, and we knew magpies were intelligent, but not this level of intelligence, because this shows that the magpies were able to cooperate to accomplish a task that did not have immediate reward. Even the leader of that troop of magpies, the Loki of that Mischief of Magpies, I'm officially going to talk to scientists about that. Make the leader of a magpie mischief a Loki. Make that happen, somebody. But so this Loki of this magpie mischief specifically, even he allowed other magpies to use their beaks and claws to help clip the little straps to release him, which is crazy. Magpies are way smarter problem solvers than we thought. I love when we learn that other animals are also super intelligent and that we're not special. It brings me happiness. So yeah, if you want to read the full article, I'll have it linked below. These scientists legit got outwitted by a Mischief of Magpies, and I love every single second of that. Next up, and this is sort of one of those things that kind of hit me because I am super interested in AI art. Specifically, art using an AI system. So I use an app on my phone called Woombo, I believe is how it's pronounced. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see in my stories, I post these all the time. where you like give it like context clues, you give it some words and an art style, and it like produces this cool art thing. It's just like a fun, relaxing, like meditative thing for me. So I enjoy doing that, and I really want to get into doing the like big like neural network AI programming art style. I think it's really cool, and you can get some like interesting, kind of trippy, psychedelic stuff out of it. But the US Copyright Office just decided, although really what they did was they like held up a decision that was already had, that they will not grant copyrights to art created using an AI system. So like if you're an artist and you made art using an AI system, the Copyright Office won't give you a copyright for that, which is kind of nuts and a little reductive, but also, I mean, like, are we surprised that the government is years behind what the rest of us are doing? No, not really at all. So I just, like, because I do the Moonbow stuff and I'm, like, starting to do research into AI art stuff, and also, if you have, like, a cool AI art system that you use, or, like, a suggestion about a system, or, like, you heard some stuff or whatever, or you've got a dope AI artist, like, let me know. Comment below about that stuff, because I'm super interested in it, and, like, I love the stuff that comes out of it. Most of it's super creepy. And it's very, like, cosmic horror, which I'm super into. So, it was one of those things where, like, I read that and was like, this is kind of bullshit. I'm going to talk about it, which is why we're here. Obviously. Next up is that we got a trailer for Gen 9 of Pokémon. Well, it's an announcement trailer or whatever, so I don't know if that's like a full trailer. There's like teaser trailers, announcement trailers, full trailers, extended trailers, and frankly, it's just a trailer. Stop trying to make it feel special. But anyway, we got, my crazy aside, we got a trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which is super dope. So it's like this new like open world Pokemon game. I don't like, they're saying open world. I don't know if it's more or less open world than Sword and Shield. And frankly, I don't really know where people drew the line in the sand on how open world Sword and Shield was, because I don't know. But it's a new open world Pokemon game. It's purported to drop in late 2022, which is super dope. The 3 new starters are a grass type cat named Sprigatito, a fire-type crocodile called Fuecoco, and a water-type duck called Quaxly, something like that. I wrote them down and I realized that I don't know how to say any of those words. But they're super cool. I'm obviously going to choose Violet because purple's my favorite color. I'm definitely going to get this. Like, I skipped on, I don't know, what was the last thing that they did? Silver and gold or whatever. Whatever the most recent thing is that they did. I skipped on that, but I have Sword and Shield. I never finished it, but that's fine. So I'm definitely going to get this, though. I'm going to get Violet, and, like, I'm probably going to start with the Grass Cat. I generally don't start Grass type. Well, also, if you play Pokemon games, what's your starter type? Generally, I like to start Fire, but I think I'm going to start the Grass type cat, just because it's like a cute cat thing, so, like, why not? Also, I've seen several reviewers talk about the fact that this fire type is breaking the tradition throughout all the games, where specifically the fire type starter is directly associated to the like Chinese New Year calendar. I don't know if that's true or not. Like, I don't know that I knew about that beforehand, but if you do, you tell me. Or give me link me a video for somebody who explains it, because I have no bloody clue. Also, the new region is like probably Spain, which is dope because we also just recently got like a French region, so maybe we're gonna get like a bigger overall region. Whatever, it looks cool. I'm super excited, and again, I will have the trailer for that linked below. So that's going to be super exciting. What is the point of being overfocused in fitness? And the reason why I say that is because, like, we had like a baby shower, like a friend's baby shower, and like a bunch of stuff like that over this last weekend. And at first I was like, I gotta stick to this like thing that I'm doing where I'm like eating healthy and tracking all this stuff and all this. And I decided on Saturday to just not do that, and on Sunday. I mean, I track stuff on Sunday, but I was just like, I'm gonna do whatever I want for food. So I basically took like this like 2-day like cheat day period, and kind of like got off the bandwagon, as it were, for my like eating healthy and working out all the time stuff. And like I didn't work out, I didn't eat healthy, and I just kind of like did whatever. And I ate like super late into the night, which is crazy, because normally I stop eating at like 8. But I was able to do that and then immediately get like back onto goal, which is good, right? Like the point isn't to just like be on a diet all the time, but it's to make like intelligent life changes to the manner in which you approach food and exercise to benefit yourself. And I feel like I've like this last week has really like both tested and tried that in a way where like I feel like I haven't like lost ground. Right? I'm like back on the wagon. I'm back to where I was before my cheat days. Like everything's good. I like worked out yesterday, probably harder than I should have. And I worked out today, definitely harder than I should have. But like I don't feel sore or like bad, but I'm just like, I realize that like I'm pushing myself a little hard. So I'm trying to like kind of meter that back in. But one of the reasons why I'm pushing myself so hard is because one, I finally got around to figuring out how to put custom songs in Ragnarok, which is very cool. With the aside that, when I found the website that like tells you how to do this and hosts all the songs with like the beat parts and all this, I did not at all pay attention to the difficulty level of the songs. I was just like, oh my god, this Bo Burnham song. Oh my god, this Disturbed song. Oh my god, this SpongeBob song. And so I just like downloaded a bunch of songs. Oh my god, a Doom song. Like that. So I just downloaded like a bunch of songs and I put them on there and then I loaded them into the game. And as I started playing the game, I was like, oh, I should try those custom songs. So I went to go load in those custom songs, and I realized that normally I'm around level like 4 or 5, like tier 4 or 5 on a song. And I can like play a little 6 or 7, but like I'm not that good. And most of the songs I downloaded are like 8s and 9s and 10s, which is dramatically more difficult than I should be playing. So I've been playing those, which I guess like it's pushing me to be hard, like to be better at the game or whatever. But it has been royally kicking my ass playing these games at such a like huge level, right? So like I finally got that figured out, but it's kicking my ass. And in addition to that, Pistol Whip got an upgrade. How crazy is that, right? So I loaded in yesterday, loaded into the Matrix, right? Fucking poured it in. I like jumped onto Oculus yesterday, and it's like Pistol Whip has an upgrade, and I was like, or an update, and I was like, okay, like whatever. I just assume it's like whatever, right? And so it's like now Pistol Whip Encore, and I was like, I don't know what that means, but whatever. So I jump in. They installed, like, first of all, they upgraded the like visuals of like the score screen and all this kind of stuff. It's super nice, as well as the pause menu is like super nice. But they also added 2 new songs. There is an encore level for the like sci-fi future version of the game, like because there's like 2 storylines in the campaign mode. There's like a sci-fi future one and like a cowboys and westerns one. So they have an encore song for each one of those. And like the encore song for the cowboys and westerns one is like pretty fun, but the encore song for the future one is so cool. It's like a really dope song, and the visuals are like super badass. It's very like psychedelic, virtual sci-fi, like mental breakdown kind of thing, and it's like a legit like heavy duty like level or whatever. So definitely if you have Pistol Whip, get update your version of Pistol Whip to the Encore. Like, it wasn't money or anything. Update your version of Pistol Whip to Encore and play those levels and let me know. It was a ton of fun. Highly recommend. Again, like I say every single week, working out in VR has like super changed the way that I approach working out. It makes it super fun. I mean, I've been like focusing more on Ragnarok lately as opposed to Pistol Whip, just because I've like kind of played through everything in Pistol Whip, and now I'm just doing like custom stuff. So if you have like a dope Pistol Whip custom like version or like build out that you use, let me know and I'll totally give it a try and then totally embarrass myself and lose, because I'm not that great at Pistol Whip. Like, I'm okay, but I'm not the best by any means, and I do not claim to be. But yeah, also, like, what do you think about Ragnarok? And do you have any particular Ragnarok custom songs that you enjoy? Because there's a bunch. I mean, the Disturbed song that I downloaded was very, very, very dope. So I think that's probably my favorite custom song right now. But yeah, the Ragnarok is just like the coolest game. I am more Ragnarok than Beat Saber 100% of the time. Like, Ragnarok is just better in my opinion. And then lastly, and most importantly to me, but like also fun, it's because it's fun for me, is Star Trek 4, the movie, but not the old one. A new Star Trek 4 movie, for confusion's sake, has been announced. Kind of. So, it's an Abramverse Star Trek movie, so it's in the Kelvin timeline. I know, a lot of people have beef with Abrams' Trek or whatever, but, whatever. Like, yeah, they're maybe not the best Star Trek movies, but let's be honest, Star Trek The Motion Picture isn't the best Star Trek movie, and that's the first one. It's not that good. It's not bad, but it's not that good, right? So, I'm just gonna kind of do like a rundown of the info that I have on it. There's obviously been no trailer yet, right? But I have some details that I've been able to gather from like several different sources. So I'm just gonna kind of run through those and then finish this pint, and we're ready to rock and roll, right? So, first up, this will be directed by J.J. Abrams. It is in the Abramsverse. It takes place in the Kelvin timeline, obviously, right? So, also, the whole cast is returning, far as I'm aware. I haven't heard anything about any cast member not being able to make it for the return. This was announced on February 15th during the Investor Day call for Paramount, which is kind of a weird place to make such a big announcement, especially seeing as how Star Trek is, like, very hot. It's a very hot commodity right now, and they announced it in, like, kind of a stupid way. That's all right. Also, this announcement apparently blindsided, like, the whole cast, with the exception of Chris Pine. I guess Chris Pine was informed by, like, his people, or however Hollywood works, before the announcement, but, like, everybody else has, in, like, different iterations, been like, oh, yeah, I heard about that, at the same time you did. So, yay. Right? So that's like, that's not a great feeling to hear about, but, like, let's hope that it was just some, like, you know, interned in, send an email kind of a thing, and not Paramount trying to get, you know, more irresponsible. Also, the shooting for this movie is supposed to start by the end of this year, which is pretty quick. So they should be ready to start, like, I guess principal photography would be what it's called, by the end of 2022, with a scheduled release date currently of December 22nd, 2023, which is a crazy fast turnaround. Now, my guess is that that December 22nd is probably going to be pushed, but, like, January is generally recognized as a place where you relegate films that you have no hope for, so maybe they'll try and push it for, like, March of 2024, which is probably more believable for me, is like a March, June, like, spring, right, sort of a release, or like between March and June, I should say, like March, April, May, June, like that sort of area is probably where it's going to end up being, but, like, maybe they hit their December 22nd and they try to make it like a Christmas extravaganza. Maybe we get a, what is that, Star Wars Earth Day, Wookiee Christmas style Star Trek 4 movie. which would be amazing. I fully support. Like, I don't even care. That sounds awesome. And lastly, the last piece of information I have is that the script is still in development, and the budget, she doesn't exist. So that's not good news. Like, I have hope, right? I mean, in the Star Trek movies, right, the Abramsverse Star Trek movies, Star Trek 2009 was good. Star Trek, the crappy Wrath of Khan was not good. But I really think it's just because they were trying to do Wrath of Khan, like, in a rushed, not thought out, no build up, very reductive sort of a way, and it produced a movie that was, like, disrespectful as a Trek film. Like, it was fun, it was enjoyable, I still saw it in theaters, like, 3 times. I mean, I saw Star Trek 2009 in theaters, like, 11 times, 2 times in IMAX, and 9 times in regular theaters. I really enjoyed it. For what it was, right? I mean, it's not perfect, but it's still really enjoyable. And then the second Star Trek movie was like whatever, of the new Abrams first ones. And then Star Trek 3 Beyond. So yeah, Star Trek Beyond, that one was very fun. I think I only saw it like maybe 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times in theaters, but it was a ton of fun and I really enjoyed it. And like, we can have the Star Trek universe have different themes. Like the Abrams vs. Kelvin timeline movies can be like fun and kooky action movies, and that doesn't take away from Discovery or Picard, right? We can have Star Trek Prodigy directed more towards children, and it doesn't take away from Star Trek. We can have Star Trek Lower Decks, which is a comedy, and it doesn't take away from Star Trek. Like, we, as Trekkies, should be expressing our desire for Star Trek to expand into other ventures. I have, for literal years now, been like low-key thought, like working on in the back of my mind a Star Trek horror movie. I want a Star Trek horror movie like very, very badly. And I think you could do a super dope, like almost zombie-esque Star Trek horror movie featuring like the Borg in maybe a like pre-Wolf 359, or maybe like immediately post people don't really get 100% of what's happening yet Borg sort of zombie movie, but like whatever. I think that we need to accept that Star Trek is always going to change and modify and update, and we should let Star Trek be a place where people can be creative in the universe and we get all of these interesting Trek stories, because I want more Star Trek. Give me more Star Trek. Do more Star Trek. Whoever's out there who's in charge of that, more. That's your job now. Do more of that. But what do you think? Have you heard anything about that? And what do you think about this whole like Kelvin timeline, new Trek, old Trek, cartoon Trek, live action Trek, TOS, TAS nonsense? I know people have like a bunch of opinions about it. Frankly, I don't care about their opinions. But like, I'm just a Trekkie. I like all Trek. I'm a pro Trek, Omni Trek, right? All of Trek, including the Orville, which isn't Trek, but is kind of Trek, and the one with Tim the Toolman. What's the one with Tim the Toolman Taylor? Oh, no. Oh my god, the one with Tim the Toolman Taylor. Tell me below what it's called. I don't even remember. But I love that one. It's so good. So like, do that. Also, like, why not rated R action-packed Trek? Whatever. I'm rambling. You know what I want. So, what do you think about all that? How are you doing in your fitness goals? What news do you have? And do you think the leader of a Mischief of Magpies should be called a Loki? Because it should be, and I'm right. So,
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. The movie's called Galaxy Quest. She was right all along. Well, but yeah, Galaxy Quest. Such a great movie. I'm gonna have to rewatch it now that I thought about it. But either way, let's finish a pint and call it a night, shall we? It's a little too sweet. It's a little too vanilla-y for me. But Full Circle Brewing, where are you guys? Fresno, California? Did a good job. It's not bad. And I'm not a big fan of the milkshake IPAs, personally. It's a little, I'm not fond of the like mouthfeel and on the tongue bitterness taste that's involved in that. But either way, I have been John Norgrove. This has been Pint Night. We've just shared a pint, talked about some news, talked about some Trek, updated you on my fitness goals, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Stay frosty, yo.